So many people said to us, like, I haven't fucked in like 6 months, 8 months, 12 months. Like,
You'll figure it out, trust me.
Hi guys. Welcome back to another episode of Girls Gotta Eat.
Welcome to summer.
We're in LA.
It's a shot, girl, summer. Yeah, you know what it is.
Wow.
Well, unofficial start to summer. We do this every year. But it's Memorial Day.
It's June 21st. It's Memorial Day. We are together in LA. It has been colder here than it was in New York.
Weather.
Weather.
Hot take.
Weird. I've been out here all week. You finally came to meet me here.
We'll talk about it.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, so much to talk about.
Yeah, so I've been out here for a week. You just got here and we're recording in this amazing studio that you found called Gold Diggers.
Yes, it's called Gold Diggers, like Raina just said. And it's in East Hollywood, LA. My friend Kate alerted me to it because we needed a studio for this episode and next week's episode because we had a very big guest that you guys will see. You probably already saw it. It's Chelsea Handler. So anyway, we were like, we need a legit studio for Chelsea because Raina and I would just record in our hotel room, honestly.
100%.
So Kate told me about this. It was a guy that is involved in it that I knew from Atlanta randomly, but it's called Gold Diggers. It is a boutique hotel and bar, which opens in mid-June. So the bar is now, I think, only open to private events, but it'll be open soon. And 9 recording studios. So we're in Studio 9. There's all these other studios. They were saying that Leon Bridges just recorded an album here. Like people record podcasts here. Anybody can record here. So if you guys need a studio in LA, Gold Diggers LA is their Instagram, and then you can go to their website at gold-diggers.com. So I would just come back here and stay at this cute boutique hotel, and then we're like, right, we're at work. You know?
Absolutely.
So anyway, can't recommend enough. Check it out if you guys are in LA and need a place to record, or you just want to go to a cool bar in a boutique hotel. It's like it feels cool over here. I feel like I'm like a cool kid in LA. East Hollywood.
You are a cool kid. We're gonna go have a West Hollywood lunch after this.
And I'm glad I'm like
here.
so East Side. Like, I don't know.
You're East Side for
East
life.
everything. Biggie.
I might be West Side for life. I'm throwing up gang symbols.
Did you have a preference on rap growing up?
No, I liked Tupac and Biggie. I like both coasts.
You can't not like both because they're both icons, but like I was hardcore Bad Boy for Life.
You
like
were?
Biggie.
You were walking around Bad Boy for life?
Bad Boy for Life. Like just the whole Bad Boy family.
I probably was more into Puffy.
Puffy, Mace.
I probably was too. Okay.
But I'm a Biggie stan. And then, but of course, Pac and Snoop Dogg and Dre and.
I don't know. I was like 8. I don't know. I wasn't like East Coast, West Coast war.
Yeah. I'm this like elementary school white girl. I'm like,
right.
I'm like, it was all a dream. I used to read Word Up. I would buy Word Up magazines just to be like, I would read Word Up magazine. Anyway, what are we doing?
I was wearing like jort overalls. I was a little kid.
I was wearing like, gosh, bagosh. And you're just like.
But I've been in, this is the longest I've ever been in LA. I've never been here more than a few days. I haven't been away from you. I mean, you and I are never away from each other that much. So I've been away from you for a week. I've enjoyed being out here. It's nice. I've been eating a lot. I came out here because my guy lives out here. We went to San Diego for the weekend, which was really fun. I haven't been back since you and I did shows on Valentine's Day.
2020.
Yeah. Ever heard of it?
Yeah.
2020. We did the House of Blues. So I hadn't been back. And so that was like really, really fun. We did like a whole day. I always plan a lot of trips around food. So I did a lot of that. And I tell you the story. I revisited this place that you and I went to called Oscar's Mexican Seafood that people recommended. There's 3 locations. 2 of them are in La Jolla. You and I went, and the chips, man, they got me.
Raina, so first of all, we need to back up. When we got to San Diego, we missed our flight for one.
Why wait? Because you were getting a pedicure. You were getting those slippy feet.
Raina, I got the pedicure in the airport because we were in the airport for 3 extra hours. We missed the flight because we misestimated how long it would take to get there, but also I was having sex. So I was running behind. So this is Valentine's Day 2020. We left on our last trip ever before the pandemic, but we got into San Diego really late that night because we had to take a later flight because we missed our first flight. And you ordered guac and chips up to your room the second we got there.
It was my Valentine's Day meal.
That was your Valentine's meal. I mean, we got in at like 11 p.m. and you said, I just got chips and guac, and you sent me a photo and they were like thick chips. They're like double chips.
Yeah, big thick chips.
This is no shade, but like you're eating double the chips and they're greasy and they're thick. And the next day you were like, I don't feel so great from all the chips at midnight. And then what did you do? You ate so many more chips at Oscars. And so I told you, Raina, when you're going to San Diego, don't be eating all those thick chips.
And Ashley saw like what I was doing that day, and she responded to my story like, don't eat all those chips, love mom. And I was like, she doesn't fucking know my stomach. It's a new year. It's 2021. I can't handle these chips. I'm gonna be fucking fine. And I will say, every time I am with, so I travel to see the guy that I'm dating a lot because we don't live in the same city. Every time I'm with him, I'm either on my period, I just got a UTI, I have cramps, I was sick as fuck the last time I was in New York. What did I say? UTI. I got an IUD. And so he thinks that I'm just like a sickly person. So I was like, I'm going to be fine this whole trip in San Diego. Nothing bad's going to happen. So we ate all the chips. And then if you guys have ever been to La Jolla, it's a really beautiful area. So we're sitting cliffside at the beach. And I was like, I feel the chips like hit my stomach, and like I feel not just poop, I feel explosive diarrhea coming on.
Oh my God.
Like I'm sweating, I'm panicking. I'm like, I really have to go to the bathroom. And he's like, I just want to sit here. It's so beautiful. And I was like, just let's like find a bathroom and then we'll go. And I'm like, I'm sweating. I'm trying to figure out like where I'm going to take a shit. So we walk over to like the cliffside, and I kid you not, the bathroom situation at this lifeguard stand is 5 stalls that are not floor to ceiling doors. It's like as if you walked into a bathroom. There's just 5 stalls out in the middle of nowhere. I've never seen anything like this. You just walk over and it's not like porta potties. It's 5 stalls with no roof and no floor. You just take a shit. There's a line of 20 people listening to you shit outside. I'm like, I can't do it here. So I'm like, we have to go to the other side. So we're walking to the other side of the cliff. And he's like, there's restaurants up there. Like, it's really like steep. You're up on a hill. He's like way up this hill. And I'm like, I will shit my pants if I walk up this hill. So I don't tell him that. We're still like in the I don't poop phase. And so
you're out of that phase if he listens to the show.
I don't know if he listens, but I'm breathing heavy. I'm like so upset. So we walk down the cliff. He's like, there's nothing down there. I'm like, you're a man. You're stupid. You don't know anything. We walked past a wedding that he like tries to stay and watch because it's romantic. I'm like, I can't do this. Oh my God, there's no bathroom. I'm like about to shit my pants. So we have to run up this hill. It's like 3 blocks straight up the steepest hill you've ever seen. We go and I find this bathroom at this coffee shop. I'm like, oh my God, thank God. It's happening. It's happening. And the guy goes, there's a line for this. 20 people in the line.
I feel like I'm sweating with the story.
It's a coffee shop. So I'm smelling the coffee and I can feel like the poop bubbling up. And then I'm like, oh my God, we have to go somewhere else. And he's like bolting down the street. We found a Pete's Coffee and I go in, there's no line. I'm like, thank the fucking Lord. I go to open the door and this girl goes, someone's cleaning that restroom. And I was like, can I get in there? And she was like, it's going to be 20 to 25 minutes. And I was like, the shit is going to start dripping down my body in like 2 seconds. Again, I've been dating this person for 5 seconds. Dragging him to all these places so I can take a dookie is not like my idea of a romantic trip. And then he was like, I was like losing my mind. So we finally find this like cannabis shop. We go in, there's like a bathroom. He's like, I'll just wait right outside the door. I was like, this is going to be the loudest shit of all time. I cannot believe you're doing this to me. And I don't even know what to say. So I was like, okay, I guess you just stand there. He stands outside the door. I take the loudest shit of my life. I'm like, it's finally over. We're going to walk out and pretend this didn't happen. Maybe he didn't hear it. I don't know.
Weed shop, weed to the rescue.
I opened the door and he goes, well, we're here. So I'll just use the bathroom. I'm like, I cannot believe you are going to smell what I just did to this bathroom.
Well, first of all, I love this episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm. That was an amazing ride. I feel like I'm just picturing Larry David that whole time. Like that was like, what else could go wrong?
Not every place we went to. It was like killed the romance. He saw me at my worst, like most lowest level. Like it's like your hangry level, but worse. I couldn't breathe. You're
blacking out.
I was blacked out.
You don't know what you're going to do.
And I kept saying like, I have to pee. But like, I think he understood like what it meant.
I am familiar with your relationship at this point. We talk about a lot. Like you need to just lean into this. You talk about shitting every week. It's a huge part of your brand. It needs to become like, I'm not saying shit with the door open and go in and let him huff it, but you need to be open about needing to shit. You talk about it all the time. And I just feel like your relationship would be better if you just let him know. And
he gets it.
Yeah. Also, I loved saying I told you so about those chips.
You weren't just right. It was like 10 times worse than it's ever been. I was like, why did I do this?
Those chips.
So that was my really romantic trip. I do want to say, people have asked me a lot, how do you get food? How do you find which restaurants to eat at in cities? So I just wanted to like quickly plug, like because you and I spend like a lot of time planning trips and like looking at lists. And so like, if you guys are looking for places to eat in new cities, some stuff that I really like is Eater, the Infatuation, Condé Nast Traveler, Thrillist, all really good places to look for restaurants, and their lists. Oh, and Time Out, all great lists for restaurants if you guys are looking for places to eat in a new city.
Yeah, I just always love asking people on Instagram. I mean, when we would travel and we would say, tell us what to do in your city, and I would be very specific, like, here's what I like. Here, I like rooftop vibes. I like places on the water. I want like a boozy brunch, you know, and just be kind of specific. And I would just always get the best recommendations. And even if you don't have like a huge following, I mean, honestly, it's a little overwhelming if you have a huge following, sifting through hundreds of responses. But my brother did that when he went to New Orleans, and he got like great recommendations. And so I always think it's fun to just like crowdsource, because people just love to share stuff in their city and cities they've been to.
100%. People love to like pass on a rec they got from somebody else. And also I love when somebody tells me something's terrible that they went to, because I'm like, great, I'll avoid it.
Or overrated.
100%. That's why I don't ever go to Yelp or TripAdvisor for food.
I will say though, in San Diego, probably like the place that's hyped the most is also amazing. And what is it? Is it
It's called Morning Glory.
Morning
Their
Glory.
Instagram is called like Pancake Lord.
I know,
or
their
something.
Instagram is a weird handle. It's incredible. You know, I was talking to Kelsey Dara, who we've had on the show recently, and I saw she was there, and I was like, that place is my happy place. When we were there, it's all pink. It's like the most like millennial looking decor, and the food's amazing. But when we were there, they played Beyonce the whole time.
When I was there, the song comes
Beyonce
on.
and Rihanna, sorry.
The song comes on, come on, put your name on it. And
Rihanna.
So, and the part that goes cake, 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 all the bartenders picked up their muddlers and they're just going cake, cake, cake,
Yeah.
cake, cake. It was the littest party ever.
They just play Beyonce and Rihanna.
It was incredible.
It's like that's probably why it's like so much my happy place. But
It's in Little Italy in San Diego. It's super busy, so make sure you guys get a res.
oh yeah. And how's your IUD going?
So you tossed it up there. Thank you for asking. I have not experienced the cramps that everybody's been saying. I had one day where I felt like a little bit like, it's hard to explain it, like gross. My stomach just felt like inflamed a little bit. I've been bleeding a little bit. And then the last 3 days, I think I got my period. I don't fucking know. I'm bleeding. I don't know. I've been wearing a tampon, but like I'm not uncomfortable. There's no discomfort. I've been having like a bunch of sex. I haven't noticed a difference.
Oh, you're having
in terms of
sex?
Sex. Well, yeah, I'm here with my man.
But like period sex?
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't care. I also like you know my periods are my period's like super light always, so I actually don't ever bleed during sex.
Okay.
Almost.
It just plugs it up.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, you just toss something up there. I don't really bleed during sex, so it's not like it gets on the bed or anything around him. So I've been having again a positive experience with it. Tiny little bit of blood. Other than that, I'm fine. Nothing.
Okay.
I wanted to update people on it. What is going on with you?
I don't even know what we're here in LA. Kate lives here. She's my best friend other than Raina and Corey. And so I'm spending the time with her. Again, we just interviewed Chelsea Handler, who is just, my number one person that I ever wanted to interview. And so that'll be next week. So I'm on a high from that. And I almost missed my flight. And it was just, I haven't felt that panicked in so long, because there was no other option for me. I would have missed the interview. Like I was on the last flight of the day, because I wasn't even supposed to be here yet. I was supposed to come in a couple days. So I changed my flight. I had to pick the one that was the corresponding price with Delta. So they put me on the 7:30 p.m. flight to land in LA at 10:30. I thought I was going to miss my flight. I had 5 minutes left before I checked my bag.
I would have really like died for you.
I don't, but I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I have a driver that I use sometimes. So I was with him, and we were just figuring out alternate routes, and I had to get there. I had to get there by 6:30. My flight was at 7:15 to check a bag. And I was going to JFK. LaGuardia usually is fine. It's just not that far, but JFK is so far. And when it's traffic, that's why we missed that flight to San Diego. It was JFK. So I saw his his iPhone map app change to 6:33. And I was like, no. Like, they won't let you check the bag. You're just fucked. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, can we just try to find another route? And thank God he found another route. If I wasn't with him, like if I was just in a taxi or an Uber, I would not be here. And I'm like, you just get so shaken up even thinking about it. And I mean, when I checked in, she was like, you're late. I'm like, yeah, but I know. I'm sweating. Can you not see that I'm panicked?
I've never been shamed like that at an airport.
She was like, yeah, you're really late. I'm like, oh my God. So I just barely made it. But that feeling, oh my gosh. And I posted on my Instagram story, hey, everybody traveling, because it's crazy right now. The airports are packed. Just remember to leave yourself enough time, because I was so close to almost not making this interview. I can't even imagine.
I can't imagine. First of all, JFK said 35 minutes and took me 75 last week. I'm so glad you made it. Wow.
Yeah.
I would have been so devastated for you.
Yeah.
Because we made lists of our number one guests, and Chelsea's been your number one.
So you guys will hear that next week. But no, everything. I mean, Azul's with my parents. He's in Delaware. I miss him so much. So yeah, I don't really have anything else, but I wanted to announce something for us that I'm really excited about, we're really excited about. So we have made some Spotify playlists for Girls Gotta Eat. So we now have a Girls Gotta Eat Spotify account. Obviously, Girls Gotta Eat is on Spotify as a podcast, but we made an account and we're going to make playlists and they're going to be themed. And those are going to be episodes that have to do with that theme plus music. So for example, the ones that you'll find now, there is one for getting yourself really hyped for dating and getting back out there, which is what the episode is about today. And then there's music that corresponds with it. So it's going to be like our top 4 to 7 episodes about that mixed in with songs. So it's like just an all-encompassing feeling yourself, getting back out there, dating playlist. And then there's one for sex. And then we're just going to do, I don't know, we haven't fully decided. We're going to release one every week, whatever, but we'll do one with like hot male comedians or something, you know what I mean? And have a bunch of music that you would masturbate to. I don't know. So we have fun plans for that. But so go follow Girls Gotta Eat and then check those out. Again, we really made a playlist that is all of the episodes that touch on the stuff we're talking about today. So they're all in one place with the music. You guys are gonna love it. And then also while we're here, just make sure you're following Girls Gotta Eat podcast on Spotify. If you're in there, just click follow when you go to the podcast page. So if you guys are Spotify listeners, just make sure you're like following and then also check out our playlist. But those are 2 separate things.
Yes, and I want to hype this a little bit harder than she is because the playlist that Ashley did this is her. It was such a great creative idea, and her thing really is playlists. And if you guys have ever been to a live show, Ashley puts together the playlist ahead of the live show so you guys can get like really hype in the theater. If you were at Ashley's brother's wedding, she put together a playlist. She's just so good at this, and it's really fun, and you really like know music, and you know way better than I do, and it's just like such a fun thing to have this playlist for like getting ready or having a breakup, and it was just such a fun creative idea. I love that you did this. I'm very excited to have you guys check it out and hopefully like put in your stories, tell friends about it, you know, tag us, let us know you're listening to it.
Thanks. Oh my God. Thanks so much. That's such a nice thing to say. Also, we get asked a lot about episodes about certain topics. So I like that we're just putting them, again, not every single episode that touched on this topic, but we know that we have new listeners that maybe they're trying to get back to the 170 episodes, but they could never get through them all. So if you're newer, you're like, I want to know all the episodes they've had about like dirty sex. Okay, here you go.
And it is really compiled really well. We do it on our website too. You guys can search episodes, but it's not always like, I mean, I think it's easy, but it's not always just easily accessible in one place like in Spotify. So you did that for everybody.
Yay. Check them out, you guys.
Yeah.
And that's what we're talking about today. Like we said, getting back out there and Shot Girl Summer. I had one rec that I didn't say.
Oh, what was it?
The Olivia Rodrigo album.
Oh, are you loving it so much?
Yeah. Are you not?
Love.
Okay.
Loving it.
Are you? Did you listen to it? I can't tell if you're lying.
I haven't listened to the whole. I haven't listened to the whole album. I'm always trying to be cool. You know, I'm like not as into music as you are.
I know.
I like music. I'm not a sociopath, but I'm not good about music like
that album. It's really a masterpiece. I mean, I've been such a fan. She's 16. I'm like such a stan of this kid. No, she's incredible. She's such a talent. I think she's going to be like a real star. But I love Driver's License, obviously, and then I love Deja Vu, and then I just love this whole album. And then there's like kind of the angsty songs that have like Avril vibes. And then my favorite song is probably called Traitor. And I just think it's like about a guy that like didn't quite cheat. But like when I first heard the album, it dropped like last Friday. And I was like, I'm canceling my plans. I'm staying in tonight. I'm going to lay on my bedroom floor and lock the door and write in my journal with a gel pen. Like that's how I'm feeling. Have you seen those memes?
Yes, I have. I've seen all the memes. Also, Ashley's like the 16-year-old just gets me.
I know. Like the memes are so funny. And this is just how it is. I mean, how many like 30-plus-year-olds were stands of Destiny's Child when Beyonce was a teenager? You know, like I'm just
true.
You know, these kids start young. Taylor Swift started a career at 15, you know. So we always are listening to people that are super young when we're like twice their age, but I just have loved these because millennials, we were like the original kind of angsty emo generation, you know, like slamming our door and listening to these songs. And so I think that she's like brought that out in us and they are relatable.
I also think that 16-year-olds, the 2021 16-year-olds are not like 16-year-olds when I was a kid, at least. Yeah. I just feel like they have access to more of the world. I think they've like grown up in a different, like I was like a little kid at 16. I mean, I was still having sex, but.
To rub it in. No one would fuck me until I was 18. Not like in a weird way. Not like because it was like an older guy.
I was getting pounded at 16. I was having great sex. Let me tell you.
I didn't lose. No one would fuck me in high school. I didn't lose my virginity until I was graduated. But also, I don't know if she's 16. She might be 17. I think she's young, and I'm a huge fan, and I think she's like a wonderful talent, and I can't wait to see what her career goes. Big fan. Anyway, that album Sour. It's called Sour. I can't recommend enough. Okay, that was my one rec.
I don't have any recs.
I have other recs. We'll do them next week.
Well, I got one. I'm gonna hit you with one that's been on the air for 10 years.
Okay,
next week. So we're really excited to do this episode today, the beginning of summer. We asked you guys, a few weeks ago, what are you looking for in terms of topics? What would you like to see us talk about? More than half of the responses, overwhelmingly from hundreds and hundreds of you, were two things. How do I get back out there now that like COVID restrictions are lifting and I can finally like date again? And how do I basically break out of a dry spell, which are sort of the same things to us. And so many people are going through this, and so many people are like, I haven't fucking dated, flirted with a man, sat at a bar. Like everybody, all of us were like dating this summer, like you out in like igloos on the street. And it's like the world is open, you can finally date again. And so many people are like, I don't remember how to do this.
Yeah.
So we have done a lot of episodes about meeting men, getting back out there, feeling confident, and you wrote down a list to recommend to people. So you guys can go back, and so we're going to give you some fresh ideas about how to get back out there and embrace Shot Girl Summer.
Yeah, sure. They're in the playlist, by the way. But ones that are great are Matthew Hussey's episode. We did an episode called How to Meet Men in the Wild. Shan Booty, she had a great episode, Dominating in Sex and Dating. Case Kenny's episode. Nina Parker, Step Up Your Dating Game. So all those are great. They'll be in the playlist. But I guess if I were to pick a favorite, it would be Matthew Hussey, because I feel like he kind of walked you through how to like talk to someone if you spot them, how to in a bar, how to make eye contact. But I think we're all in this like Shot Girl Summer. We're vaxxed, we're waxed, we're ready to fucking go. Like I'm not trying to get to like the motivational speaker, but like we made it. Like we survived this pandemic. I just think we should all congratulate ourselves, first of all. Like, I'm a survivor. Like, yes, so much loss happened. We've all been through it. So much terrible stuff has happened. But if you're here now, you're listening to this podcast, like you made it. You survived. Like, congratulate yourself. Don't let anybody make you feel like less than. Like, this was an insane thing. It was historical. I think we're on the tail end of it. I think that we're doing pretty well for once in this country. We know some people don't have it as good as we do now, but it is starting to feel very normal, at least in New York City. And, I just think it should have all changed us for the better. I think we should all be more empathetic, kinder. Like we've all lived through this thing. And, if people aren't and they're going to treat you like shit or say mean things to you, like fuck them. You know what I mean? Like you're good. Shoot your shot. We'll get into it. But I just feel like if you're here now, you're listening to this, like we fucking made it. And who cares? Just get out there.
Woo, shoot your shot summer. I feel very like hyped up listening to
Yes, shoot your shot girl summer. That's what it is.
I was inspired by all the people saying this because I think everybody just wants to feel like they're normal, like what they're going through is normal. And I'm constantly reminded by that when we get emails, so many similar emails from listeners. And just remind yourself, like, guys, everybody's senses are dulled now. No one remembers how to date. No one's like killing it in the dating game. If you are, good for you. Great. I mean, if you got a pandemic boyfriend, you're the elite. But like, no one remembers how to do this. Everyone's just getting back out there again. We're all in the same place. Everybody's body doesn't necessarily look the same as it did at the beginning of COVID. Everybody's just not like, they're not sharp with the dating skills. I think we've all reformed maybe what we want from our lives and from a partner in the last year, because we've like learned so much more about ourselves and what we want. And maybe you're newly single, or maybe you have been completely single throughout the pandemic and you're like, I haven't had sex in a year. I promise you, so many people that wrote to us are literally in the same place. I haven't fucked in a year.
And guys, too. I love that you said that. Like, I just think of Jared Freed screaming, we're all inside the bell curve. Like, if you're feeling some kind of way, so are other people. And of any men, women, whatever you identify as, we are all feeling the same way. If you're going to feel a little awkward, they're feeling awkward, too. Like we all went through this together. We're all changed from it. And if you're feeling like you're nervous about getting back out there, you feel rusty, you don't know what your game is going to look like everybody else feels like that too. So like, don't even worry about it. I mean, I just think, you not to do like a sports analogy, but to do a sports analogy, like you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Just get out there. We've all been rejected. Like, what's the worst thing that could happen? I don't know. Like, what I always think that we talked about this before. This isn't like a hot take. Like, what's the fear? You show someone you have emotions and they shame you for it. What an asshole. You know what I mean? Oh, I have emotions and I directed them towards you and I like you and I want to talk to you. I want to spend time with you. I have a crush on you. I want to date you. And they're like, make you feel bad. Like, that's rare for one. So like, let's just get rid of that fear. And if someone makes you feel like that, like they fucking suck anyway. Like, fuck them.
100%. I love your sports metaphor that you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, because I think that we let rejection stop us from doing so many things that could make us happy potentially. And I always like to think, what is the worst case scenario from doing this? And that has always driven me to take new jobs, to move somewhere, to message somebody, to walk up to a guy at a bar. You know, I'm the first person to walk up to somebody and just be like, hey, first of all, I read the room, right? Before I make calculated risks. I'm not like a crazy person out here, but it's never stopped me from like walking up to a person, or even like the person I'm currently dating. We were talking about this the other day. I like DM'd him a couple times and he like didn't really seem like he was into it, but I was like, I like this guy and he's not like completely giving me the Heisman. So I'm going to like lean into this a little bit and like DM him a little bit more and just see. And I was talking about this the other day because what he said to me was, I was just nervous. I liked you. I didn't really know what to say to you.
Right.
I thought you were like this really funny person. You have this like big show. I was like, I don't know if she's into me. And he didn't really give me I'm into her vibes. And so I kept up with it a little bit. And I'm so glad I did, because like, I could have just been like, this guy's not into me. Fuck it. He's just not that into me, and walked away from it. I'm so glad that I like kept trying a little bit, because like the worst thing that was going to happen was this person was just not messaging me, and then like, what do I care? I'm still in the same place I was at before, which is that they're not talking to me.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And what, like, I think we build stuff up in our head of like the worst case scenario. What was he going to do? He was going to screenshot it, post it on Reddit. Look at this pathetic girl that has a crush on me. Like, that's not a thing that happens. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to get publicly stoned for liking somebody.
Right.
But I think also just approaching people, like, you're always so good about it. And again, I referenced Matthew Hussey's episode that was in January or February of 2020, like, reading the room, like you said, making eye contact, things like that. But like, in terms of what to say to somebody, if you feel like you're the person that is going to start a conversation, you're in a close proximity to someone and the opening is there, like, we have so much content now. Like, how cool is it that this bar is back open? You know what I mean? Like, how's your pandemic been? Like, what vaccine did you get? You know what I mean? Like, I just think we've all been through this collective thing. And I don't know another time in my life, really, in any of our lives, where we've literally all been through the same exact thing. We all have it to talk about. And as things open back up, like, I just think the number one thing you can say is like, isn't it great to be able to be here? You know what I mean? Like, isn't it so cool that we can be here? Like, once you get to go up to a bar and order a drink again, like, oh my God, like, that's going to feel so incredible. Like, talk about that, just keep it light and positive. And like, can you believe we like made it through? We just have so much collective stuff to discuss. And we always say comment on what's going on in the room, the long line that you're in, people are back out, like fucking crowded, comment on that. There's just a common thread. And I think it lends itself to having topics and opening lines and such.
Yeah, I think we all get in our heads so much about it too. Like, oh my God, this guy's so cute. Talk about the menu. Have you ever been here before? If the person's like, no, you can be like, oh, how'd you find this? I've been here before. Do you like the cocktails? Is the food good? Literally just talk about the menu. And if somebody isn't nice to you, then fuck that person. But I will say, like, I feel like the vibe in the world is a little more positive than it used to be. And you and I got on the road. We did 6 shows. I've never done 6 shows in a row where I felt every single audience was so fun, so hyped, so positive and excited to be there. I mean, listen, all the shows are great. All the audiences are fantastic. But this was a run where I felt like everybody is so excited to be back out in the world.
Yeah.
And I feel like people are being nicer to others. They're being more empathetic. They're just so excited to be there. And so I think that you should feel confident that people are going to be nice to you and they're going to be excited to talk to people and meet people and go into it with confidence that somebody is just like excited to interact with other people. And also, like, whether you're a man or a woman approaching somebody of the same sex, the opposite sex, like, who cares if you think you're like pretty enough to talk to that person or interesting enough? Let them be the judge of, I want to talk to this person. And if they don't, who cares? That person's a stranger.
Right. And so I love you said stranger, because that was those were some tips on talking to strangers. But let's talk about John Berger's method of just like hitting up somebody that you kind of know, like, I cannot recommend that enough. I love his books. Again, Make Your Move. He was on the show a couple months ago, but his book, Make Your Move, is just all about this kind of challenge of trying to date people you already know. And they don't have to be people that you're friends with. They can be friends of friends. They can be like this guy you see at the coffee shop sometimes, you've had like that you've had small talk with, every situation is different, but there's certainly a world in which you kind of know somebody and you're like, maybe that person would be good. You know, I've seen the way they walk and talk. I know they're a normal person. I know they're friends. And you message them like, hey, blank is back open. Do you want to check it out? You don't need to say, I want to fuck you. I want to date you. It could be that you're just looking for a new friend. They don't know. You know, I think being direct is fine. I think being honest is obviously is the best way to be. But somebody could easily just be like, hey, oh my gosh, like this cool spot is like back open. Like, do you want to check it out with me sometime? Like, we just have a lot of things to do now. Like, shit's back open. And so I just love his idea of like, think of people you already know.
Mm-hmm. And then if you get nervous, like, I haven't socialized in a year. I'm so awkward. I don't know what to say. I don't like have any game. No one else has any game either. Yeah. And like you said, there's a million things to talk about. I love hearing how people spent like the 3 solid months of quarantine. Like, where were you? What were you doing? Something funny will always come up. We did an episode that I loved, was my favorite segments we ever did with Kendall Long last year in February of 2020, where we did a segment about questions to ask on a first date. And people submitted so many great ones. It's at the end of the episode. And then you and I ran through them. There's so many good ideas about like what to ask. Somebody asked me yesterday, if you could be in any fictional setting, like a fantasy world and live like Harry Potter, The Lord of the Rings, like which one would you live in? And I love that question. Or like if you could pick any fictional friend group, like Sex and the City, Friends, Gossip Girl, which one would you be a part of?
Wait, I love that. I saw a meme that said if you could go to any fictional restaurant, what would it be?
Love this.
Like, you know, the Peach Pit. Oh my God, I'm going to age myself so much. But like the Max, obviously the Central Perk. Do you know yours? I mean, I would have to say the Max. Say with a bell.
I like the vibe. I love a diner. I love the vibe. Oh, I hate being put on the spot.
Well, and Sex and the City is everything was real. So it was like Sex and the City was like Budokan. You know what I mean? Like that's a real place. But, like I love the fictional. I don't know. I thought that was such an interesting thing. So now we're like spiraling. But like
no, I love these questions. They're really fun and it's like pop culture and you can learn as somebody like are they like a sci-fi nerd? Are they like a tech nerd? Like are they like really elitist and only want to go to like one kind of place? Like you can learn a lot from people with these like hypothetical fun questions. Like it doesn't always have to be like if you were a superhero, which one would you be? Like there's so many like I could talk about when somebody asked me the other night like which fantasy world from a movie would you live in, and also it could be anything, like it could be The Simpsons, like you would live in Springfield,
yeah, okay,
and like what would your job be there too? Like somebody said to me I would be a bar back in Springfield at Moe's, and there's so many fun, not everything has to be. I watched you with a guy one night and like you talking to him and like it looked like the greatest conversation ever, and you were like, I didn't really learn that much about him, but it was like I watched you, it looked like the greatest conversation. It's like sometimes just these lighter, easier topics other than like what do you do for work, do you have any siblings, like you learn somebody's vibe so much better asking these like silly fun questions rather than the interview questions.
Yeah, and you know, you can always slide in the DMs with one of those things, you know what I mean? Like there's so much content on the internet. Like I'm just all about a DM slide and like all about like, you know, you can try to trap somebody a little bit. You can try to catch somebody a little bit with a story that you think they're going to respond to. We've talked about this before. Like you stalk their Spotify playlist and then post a song on your story, so they'll slide in. But there's no guarantees that they'll slide in. But like, I just think, you know, the DMs have become just the same as texting in terms of communication. Like if you saw that random person and you guys had a conversation about something, like just fucking scour the internet till you see something that goes with that conversation and send it to them and be like, ha ha ha, remember this? Like there's just find those common threads and like get in there with them or send a text or, you know, whatever. But I just think like we can be a little strategic. It's not manipulative. It's just like, okay, let's find this thing to talk about with this person. You know, I've had guys that have been in my DMs and asked me out, and before I knew it, I had said yes to a date. I'm like, how did this even happen? Like they picked up on something that I posted or that I was asking about. When I asked for LASIK recommendations, 3 guys asked me out. They slid in with LASIK recommendations to ask me out. I went out with one of them. That's friend zone. But like, I was like, how did this what happened today? LASIK? Still haven't gotten LASIK.
I know.
2022 goal.
You look great. I think we put so much weight on these interactions and we're like, is somebody going to think this thing I said was stupid? Are they going to respond? Are they going to laugh at my joke? We put so much weight on these interactions, specifically with strangers, and we place so much value on them and we value ourselves based on those responses. And it's like, this is just light. Let's not beat ourselves up if somebody doesn't respond right away. If they don't think what you think is funny, if you're on a date and it gets a little awkward, don't be so hard on yourself about these things. It just doesn't matter. And you and I have also, like, people have said, like, you know, have a bench full of people, and you and I have always said we're not great at dating a bunch of people at once. I'm not, you know, it's hard for me to be like talking to 3 or 4 guys at once. I've never been great at juggling it, but like if you can have a couple different people that you are interested in at the same time, it helps you to not put so much weight on the interaction with one person.
100%. The apps too, you know, we're talking about all different ways of meeting people. Like we did an episode called Mastering the Apps. That'll be in the playlist too. But those things, you know, keep it like the same. Like who cares if someone doesn't respond to you or unmatches you? Like everybody has busy lives. Now everybody really is like, a lot of people have gone back to the office. People are traveling. Like who cares? You know, I have guys message me that I matched with, and then by the time they message me, I'm not interested anymore. And that's not because they're ugly or they're bad. Like, you know, it works both ways. And a couple things with apps. One, just if you don't want to be wasting your time with chit chat, then don't waste your time with chit chat. Like I think say a thing. Here's my number if you want to grab a drink sometime. If you guys, I always find myself in conversations talking about pizza for some reason. Oh, we should grab a slice there sometime. Let me know. You don't have to be so specific. You don't have to be like, I'm free next Wednesday. But you could be like, I'm around next week. Like say the thing and then get out of there. Like if someone is just pen paling you, chit chatting you to death, say the thing. Here's my number. Drop a number. Guys love it. I can't recommend it enough. If you are chit-chatting back and forth and you see that opening to be like, well, hey, you know, here's my number. Let me know if you want to grab a drink sometime. If they want to go out with you, they'll go out with you. If they don't want to go out with you, they're not going to text you and just like call it. Get out of there.
We've said this before. It's so shocking to me how many people are afraid to ask somebody else on a dating app out on a date.
It's a dating app.
It's a dating app. You're there to meet people, get laid, interact, socialize romantically with somebody. So many people say to us, and I know that a lot of people get caught up in this because they mention it, we just talk endlessly. And it's like, you're welcome to stop that.
Yes.
This is a romantic interaction, 100%. Just say to the person, would love to go out this week. Let me know what your schedule looks like. Let's get that pizza, whatever the fuck, and be done with it.
And be done with it. If they don't bite, bye.
That's
you don't
it.
have to be like, you, me, Max's Diner next week. You know, like you don't have to be some like bulldog about it, but like drop the number, say the thing, and then move on to the next.
You also didn't meet somebody at the CVS parking lot. You're on a dating app. You can ask them out.
Yes, they're on exactly. Like, you know, my biggest fear always with approaching somebody is that they're going to be like, and here's my girlfriend. You know what I mean? Like,
what a nightmare.
That's not going to happen. They're on the of course, yes, they could be secretly married or whatever, but I'm saying like that fear is kind of out the window if they're on the app too. I'm just going to throw this out just because it's like I just had a conversation with a friend the other day who is recently divorced and she just got back on the apps and she sent me her profile. So I just figured I'd discuss this while we're here. Again, we did a whole episode on this and but just a few things. She was like, can you look at my profile? Immediately, I said, take out this picture of you and your whole family. Who cares? Like, yeah, somebody you date cares about your family, but nobody on a first impression dating app cares about your whole fucking family. I don't care. Like, if you have one cute picture with your parents, yeah, I'm going to see if they still have full heads of hair. But other than that, like, it was her and her whole family, like, kind of cute on a couch. I was like, take it out. And then there was a photo of the Taj Mahal, not her. I'm like, nobody cares about this. And I was like, take out this picture of the Taj Mahal and
we care about the Taj Mahal,
replace it with a photo of you in India or in front of the Taj Mahal if you have it. If not, no one cares about this landmark that you're not in. And then also I was like, you have a dog, put a picture with your dog. Animals always perform well. People will always comment on the dog. While we're here, if your dog dies, take the picture out immediately because inevitably people will start asking about your dog. When Dewey died, right? It was like, I had never talked about this, but while we're here, by some sick turn of the universe, every message was about Dewey, like on my Hinge. It was like, is it your dog? What kind of dog is it? A dead one? Like, I was like, I can't. Like,
I just took a sip of water. I almost died.
Someone literally the week after, tell me about your dog. He died.
Then what else do you want to know?
And then I was like,
they're like, how did he die?
It was a guy that I'd matched with, and now I'm going to remove the picture, and he's going to know that I updated my profile, which it doesn't matter. But like, I say that to say, like, those are just some things. When I took the picture of Dewey off my profile, now Azul's there, but I put in a picture of me with a kangaroo because I just think animals spark conversation. If you are super proud of your vaccine status, I don't mind seeing that. Let's talk about the vaccine. I talk about the vaccine with everybody I ever talk to every single day. So a lot of that is in the episode, but just since I just recently coached a girlfriend on her dating app, it was like the stuff that she needed to change was so glaring.
Anything I think a lot of people try to like cast a wide net on dating apps and you post these very generic photos of you. Actually, I would say like if there's very specific things about you, post yourself doing that thing. And you'll be able to find people who like those hobbies. So we talked about biking. If that's like your number one thing, your friend Rob, our friend Rob and his wife do it all the time. That was a number one thing for him. If somebody posts a bike photo, I'm not swiping on them because I can't ride a bike. If cooking is your number one thing, post a photo of yourself cooking. You know, like pick the things that are super unique to you that also spark conversation. And we always say that whatever it is, look at this photo and say to yourself, does this spark conversation? I have this photo of myself on a dating app. It's me holding this giant like Tyrannosaurus? It's a rib. It's a beef rib.
Oh, okay.
This giant Brontosaurus.
I was like a dinosaur?
It's a huge beef rib. It's like the size of my head.
Brontosaurus is a dinosaur.
Yeah,
arguably my favorite one.
Really, that was your favorite? I was really into dinosaurs as
It
kids.
was a sweet one, like from Land Before Time.
What's the long neck? That's
Long
a Brontosaurus. I was obsessed with the Land Before Time as a kid. I went to the museum with my dad to look at dinosaurs every week.
One of my favorite questions on a date app is, what's your favorite dinosaur? And I'm not even a cheesy question person. Like, you know me. I don't really get down with those, like, whatever.
If you were a car, what car would you be?
I just like, what's your favorite dinosaur? I love that question.
Very funny. So Brontosaurus. That's what it is. Anyways, there's a photo of me at the Mets game. I'm like clearly at a baseball stadium. I'm holding this giant rib up to my face. My body looks great. It's a conversation starter. I'm eating this huge piece of meat. I'm at a sporting event. I love sports. I love going to sports. And I think that it sparks conversation. So look through all your photos and say, like, would I respond to this? Or is this just random photo of me? Obviously, great face shot. Make sure there's a shot of your body. Katie Storino mentioned this last week.
Current photos.
Yeah, current photos that are representations of what you really look like.
I cannot recommend pizza photos enough. I have 2 pizza photos on my Hinge because I have one of me in a bra top eating Chicago deep dish from Lollapalooza years ago. I'm not going to get rid of it because it's like, it is the conversation starter because my midriff is out and I'm eating pizza and I get so many comments on it. And then me carrying that giant stack of 8 Grotto's boxes. So I was like, do I really need 2 pizza pics? They are 10 out of 10. Those are the things that guys say. And I mean, especially if you're in New York, it always leads to where's your favorite pizza, always. And then you have the opening to be like, no, I've never gone there. We should go. It happens 8 out of 10 times. It really goes according to plan. In my history and being in New York and dating on the apps is like the pizza shot is the opener. You can also put as one of your prompts, like, you tell me your favorite pizza in the city. That works too. Like people just love to talk about food. And then you have the opening for we should go there. You know, always we say this all the time. We're just like have hammered this to death. Like start talking to people about their favorite places to get drinks, food, sandwiches, brunch, whatever. And then that's where you go.
100%. Great equalizer. It'll always open up a conversation. And also about food, like I feel like you can learn a lot about people's lifestyle through food. Do they work out? Do they sleep late? What do they like to have breakfast in the morning? Things like that. Like I can learn a lot.
Breakfast.
Yeah, some people sleep until noon. That's not my guy.
Okay.
If somebody's like, I don't have breakfast because I sleep past fucking breakfast.
Okay.
That's not my man. I want a coffee in the morning guy. I just think that anything that can start a conversation, spark interest. I always look through guys' profiles and I'm like, this isn't telling me anything about you. So then I have to shoot my shot with like, hey, what's up? And it's like, yeah, I'm not going to ever talk to you about anything now.
Karina's out here talking about the apps like she's ever done them.
Hypothetically, if I was on the app.
Somehow you still give great advice.
COVID was tough for me because I couldn't meet men in the wild. I didn't know how to talk to men on the internet. And so I'm personally very excited to get back out there. And I have a boyfriend now. I don't know. What get back out there.
I'm going to take over. Okay. So let's talk about, let's say you are trying to gas yourself up, whether you have a first date, which can be nerve wracking, especially if it's with a stranger, or you are like, I'm going to go out tonight and I'm going to talk to a guy or whatever it is. Or you're like, I'm going to go down to the coffee shop and like ask that barista for his number today. Whatever. I'm just hypothetical situations. Like, let's talk about how to like get yourself going to feel yourself. What do you like to do? Masturbate.
I always like I wear a lot of athleisure, so I think I look like cute when I like walk around these streets in the city. You know, brush my hair, put on some mascara. But like the thing that I always tell myself before I approach a guy is like, I think we're all in our head about like, am I pretty enough, cool enough, smart enough, whatever. There's always going to be somebody that is prettier than you, better body, more successful, have more money, all these fucking things. Who cares? What is the difference? It has never stopped me from walking up to a guy and flirting with him and giving them an opening and chatting with them. That is how I hit myself up always, just in general. I there will always be somebody better than me. I don't fucking care. Like, it'll never stop me from walking up to somebody. So that's how I hype myself up. Obviously, music is great before you like walk out that door. And I love to be wearing an outfit that I'm feeling. And like, that is usually in the summertime, like bike shorts and like an aloe yoga tank top. Like, that doesn't need to be some like 4-star outfit and a smoky eye.
Listen, don't be plugging aloe anymore till they pay us some money because, okay. So I just wrote, I made a little bit list. I think music and just getting your body moving, like, you know, putting on some music, dance around your house, exercise. Like, you can just go, you know, do a short like yoga flow if you're into that. I always love the Peloton. It really gets me going. Playing with your dog or any dog, a foster dog, whatever it is, like all the things that get those happy chemicals flowing. I want to find this thing, Raina. I feel like you would love this because you're a neurologist. Oh, here it is. Okay. I screenshotted this from BuzzFeed in a BuzzFeed article, but it was happiness chemicals and how to hack them. Okay. So there's 4. There's dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. Dopamine is the reward chemical, and those are things like completing a task, doing self-care activities, eating food, celebrating little wins. Oxytocin is the love hormone. So that could be playing with the dog, playing with the baby, holding hands, hugging your family, giving a compliment. Then there's serotonin. That's the mood stabilizer. You can meditate, run, sun exposure, walk in nature, swim, cycle, and then endorphin, the painkiller, laughter, exercise, essential oils, but not from Pyramid Scheme. Watching comedy, dark chocolate, exercising. I just like these little things. It was like how to hack those chemicals.
This is incredible. Yeah. I'll put this on our Instagram.
Yeah, we'll put that on our Instagram. Those are kind of things to do, but I'm going to just quote Raina here with like doing something nice for your body. And I think that can do stuff that makes you feel sexy. I love that you brought up what you wear. We had an episode with Lily and Charles recently. What was it called? Oh, Glow Up and Show Up. That was, I think, in the fall. Again, I'm not, and I realize not everybody has money to go out and buy a brand new wardrobe, and I'm not even saying to do that, but just feeling good in what you're wearing. Like, I just got these really great new jeans I love and some tank tops. I'm not wearing bras all summer, nips out. Like, I wear Paige jeans and a Free People tank top most days. And I just like feel good about myself. Again, the athleisure that you're walking around the city, just making sure that you feel good about your body and what you're wearing. Get some fresh highlights, get a new lip gloss, get a mani-pedi, get some fierce nails, get new sandals, then get a pedi. And just whatever your self-care is, like something that can make you feel good. And like, of course, like a bikini wax. Like, for me, like if I just get that fresh sugaring Brazilian, like I just feel sexier, I feel freer, I'm not uncomfortable down there in my pussy region. Like, I'm just, whether you have somebody you're doing it for or not, I think you should do this for yourself. You know, just little things. If you're like, I haven't had sex in forever, it could be on the table with this guy or whatever, go get a bikini wax or not, you know, but just treat yourself to something, do something nice for your body.
Honestly, like, hot tip, nothing makes me feel sexier than a fresh manicure. I have these like super long, pointy red nails and like, it's like my thing. I always have them. It makes me feel so sexy. Every time I touch my face, I pick up a drink, I pick up my fork. Like, you're just looking at them thinking like, damn, her nails look fly. Like, I wonder what those look like scratched on my back, you know? And I want to back up to what you said about like all the chemicals in your brain. These are real things. Like, being happy, it is floods of these type of things into your brain. And we were talking to Guy Winch a while, and I forget if he said it on the show, but he definitely said it in his TED Talk about like when you're in a bad mood, deciding to be in a good mood. So when you're in a bad mood, you listen to like sad music and you walk around and cry. And that's always stuck with me when I'm in a bad mood, to turn on positive music, because I'm like, why am I like leaning into this like shitty thing that I feel with music that makes me feel worse? Positive music, like, even if you do not want to do it, like, just turn on some like bad bitch Lizzo, and it always makes me feel better to choose to be in a better headspace.
Yeah, and I love that one of those things said to give a compliment. You know what I mean? Like, I had a friend recently, I'll say who it was. It was Kate Nichols, who she was on our podcast last summer. And she just sent me like a text out of the blue not that long ago. It was just, you know, really complimentary. I think you're so wonderful. And it made my day. So do that for somebody now. I don't know what this has to do with dating, but again, it's just those like happy chemicals. And I just think let's use each other as friends, as women. Like, make a pact with a girlfriend. Like, you guys have a first date with somebody, you're going to FaceTime each other. You're going to like do a little fashion show, what you're wearing, or you're going to get together beforehand and play some Sweetie and share a glass of wine. Don't get too drunk. Or you're going to just get together and like gas each other up. Or, you know, if you're going out with a guy, or you're just going out on the town or whatever it is, and you just take that selfie in the mirror and you send it to your group chat, they're going to build you up.
Yeah.
We should all just be out here gassing each other up.
You said I don't know what it has to do with dating. It has everything to do with it. Because if I'm in a good headspace, I'm a better date. I'm more fun. I'm more positive, and I want to date more. And also, if you got dating should be fun. The app should be fun. Meeting people should be fun. If you do not feel like dating, don't date. Like I was talking, my dad's recently divorced, thank God. And I was on the phone with him last night, and he was talking to me about how he like had a date and she canceled last minute. And he was like, I felt this like sigh of relief. And I was like, just because you think you should date doesn't mean you should date. Like if it's not fun, if you're not going to enjoy this, don't do it. So if you're like, it's been a long ass pandemic, I want to focus on me, I want to travel, I want to get my fucking career right, my job right, I want to, whatever it is you want to do, don't date if you don't feel like fucking dating. It should be fun.
100%. Like if you don't want to be bothered, then stay unbothered, queen. Like I'm just, it has not been at the top of my priority list just right now. Like I have this new dog. I don't know, fucking 27 stand-up shows in June. You know, like I just keep committing to more. We have new stuff. We're making big moves in our career. Like we have new things we're working on. Like I'm open to it for sure. And like if somebody piques my interest, I'll shoot my shot. You know, I'm going to take the advice that I'm giving out here today, but I don't really have anybody that's on my mind right now in that way. And I'm happy and I'm just living life and I'm not going to stress myself out about it 100%. It's like the quote, dating should be fun. It really should be. If you don't want to be bothered, don't be bothered.
And like be the kind of person that somebody would want to date, you know? Like I think that so many people are out here like trying to fill this void in their life by relationship, and that's great. Do that. But you're saying like I'm doing all these things, I'm out there in the world, I'm doing comedy, I'm adding all these things to my plate. You're gonna travel so much this summer. Like that is somebody that I want to date. Is somebody that has a lot going on, that's interesting, that's doing cool, fun shit, that's not trying to fill a hole in their life with me in any way. I want them to fill my holes. But you brought this up a little bit ago, and so many people have brought this up, so I do want to touch on it. And like people just like talking about breaking out of dry spells, because so many people said to us, like, I haven't fucked in like 6 months, 8 months, 12 month. Like,
you'll figure it out, trust me.
Like it is like it's like riding a bike. Not that I know how to ride a bike, but I think so many people are going through a dry spell. Like you'll remember how to do it when it comes. Like you don't owe anybody information about the last time you had sex. Who fucking cares? And maybe you don't feel confident about your body. People are with you because they want to be with you. You should feel good about your body, feel comfortable in your skin. If you don't, do things to feel good. Like you said, get a wax, get a manicure, beef up your wardrobe, whatever. But like this idea of like being scared to like fuck because you've been in a dry spell, or that you're somehow like less valuable because you've been in a dry spell. Who cares?
100% cosign. Also, just don't fuck anybody if you don't want to fuck them. Like I always think back to, how many episodes are we going to reference? I always think back to Nikki Glazer's first episode with us, What Turns You On, in fall, winter 2018, of her being like, I'm not having sex with somebody until I'm so juiced up to do it. And the thing is like, if you are in a situation with somebody and you're making out with them and you're getting turned on, they're like touching you, they're kissing you, and you're juiced up, you're ready to fuck, then you should fuck if you want to. But like, otherwise don't, you know, like, because the second that you get all horned up and ready to go, your body's going to know what to do. Like we say this all the time, that I don't know her, you know, like that girl that's all turned on, I don't know her, but you figure it out as soon as you start doing it. It is just like riding a bike. But like, maybe tell yourself like, you don't get to fuck me until I do feel that way. You know what I mean? Like, don't go into a situation. I'm just telling you, I can't speak for everybody. What I'm thinking is that most of you ladies, like, you're in your head right now because you're not in that turned on headspace, right? So like if you're in a place with a guy, you start making out and you feel uncomfortable and you're like, I haven't done this in a while, it's not the right time. Wait until a guy gets you so ready to go that you are going to want to do it, and you will figure out how to do it. Like we don't lose it, you know, like it's not use it or you lose it. I trust me, because your girl's been in some spells.
We all have. And it's just like, now you know that you've waited so long to have sex, and you know that you are just doing A-okay and you're fine. You could wait another couple minutes, like or a couple dates, you know, like have sex when you feel like it, when it feels right. But if you've been in a dry spell for a while and you're like, I'm gonna break it for this fucking guy, don't.
Yeah, and I did that. I'll be honest. Like I make mistakes, and I slept with a guy that I just kind of wish I hadn't. And I feel like my mindset was, this was at the end of 2020. This was like the last day of 2020. You know, it was like the 30th. I don't know. It was just the opportunity was there. I was turned on. We were making out. I was like into it, but like, I just didn't, you know, I never talked to him again. And I felt like my mindset was like, I want to get laid because it's been so long. Like, I don't want to close out the year with only having slept with like this one person before the pandemic. You know what I mean? Because we were in a pandemic. Like I dated, you know, you got it in, but I hadn't slept with somebody since the person I dated before COVID. So it's like, I don't want to end the year with that being my only lay. So I kind of had these weird things happening in my mind. Of course, I'd been drinking. I wasn't drunk by any stretch. I had a few glasses of wine, but I think I was like thinking of it in a weird way of like, I want to get it in. Who knows the next time that I'll actually kind of be with a guy that I'm kind of into. And I guess looking back, I wasn't 100% into it. And I just like wish I didn't really do it. So don't let that get the best of you too. Go out with somebody, make out with them, feel the situation out. And if you want to sleep with them 100%, do it. But if not, like, don't think to yourself, like, it's been so long, I got to get penetrated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't think that you ain't made any decisions that I wouldn't have made or anybody else wouldn't have made. You had a fun time. You had a fun date.
Yeah.
You were like, this is a good time. I mean, he acted like an asshole.
Yeah,
and that has
he
nothing to do
fucking
with
sucks.
you. Yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
It's just, we've all been through it. Don't let anybody make you feel bad about yourself. Don't feel bad about your body or like, maybe I don't know how to do this. And if you're in the middle of a dry spell and you don't want to have sex with somebody, keep going with the dry spell.
Yeah.
Like you're not somehow less valuable because there isn't a bunch of dicks up in you. Honestly, all the sex I had this year, and I wasn't out here like fucking a million people, but like I could take it or leave it. Like I fucked a bunch of people this year, like my fucking neighbor. And it's just like, my life isn't any better for having done it. Why? Because I got a dick up inside of me for like a minute. Like it wasn't that much fun. I didn't really like a lot of the people I slept with this year. I mean, I like them in the moment, but like the sex I'm having now is somebody that I care about a lot, that cares about me, that's like can be dirtier and more meaningful. Like I'll take that all day and I will forego sex for a year to have that kind of sex.
Yeah, for sure. And if you get out there and you have a bad date, you get rejected by somebody, you get ghosted, something embarrassing happes, like then you have the story. You get to like laugh about it with your girlfriends. You get to go to brunch. Or you cry about it with your girlfriends. Like this is just how life goes. That happens to the best of us. Like it's just, we built this podcast on like insane dating stories, like go out and laugh about with your girlfriends and, on to the next. Like if you, I don't know, if you shoot your shot and you completely miss the rim, I don't know, email us, tell us about it. Maybe we'll do a segment on it. Like just so we can normalize that like everybody fucks up and gets rejected and gets ghosted and it's just kind of the way of the world. So don't even worry about it.
You will literally survive. Ashley and I have been through, I mean, that's why we started the podcast. We went through the most devastating breakups on earth. We're fine. We're here to talk about it,
Exactly.
All right. Well, I was really excited to do this episode with you. I think that it is going to be Shot Girl Summer, waxed and vaxxed.
Yes.
Guys, get back out there. We know that you're going to. And we're going to wrap up with your summer goals. Listen, a lot of these were like really inspiring. We did a question slide on our Instagram. A lot of this is very inspiring about like careers and friendship and family. We're going to focus on a lot of sex stuff for this.
Which, thank you guys for sharing your truths with us.
Yeah,
we
obviously.
love that you guys are living your best lives.
Obviously. People want new careers, move to a new city, girls trips, travel more. Fuck a lot of people, say yes to everything. But you guys submitted such funny stuff for summer goals. Do you want to kick it off?
Sure. Okay. Summer goals 2021, Shot Girl Summer. Explore my bisexuality because I realized during the pandemic I'm ready to get into it. Go off. Get engaged. Good luck with that. Make out with a random guy. Make him buy me drinks. Never talk to him again. Yes, love it. Sex and friends. Not at the same time. Not to be bothered by the actions of men. Someone better spit in my mouth.
I feel that.
And I want to see the world, baby.
So much traveling. We can't wait to see where you guys go. Show off this body I worked so hard for during lockdown. Travel with my boyfriend who I started dating during COVID. Like, who is he? I feel that.
I feel that. We need to do we need to do a reboot of the travel episode because that was like the third episode we ever did.
So much fun.
Traveling with somebody.
I think it was Jared Freed did this meme and he was like, there's legitimately couples that have been together for a year at this point that have never seen their partner get drunk at a bar because of like
or
COVID.
Seen their partner in an airport.
Yeah. I mean, that's really dookie.
What if you were dating somebody your first trip and then they're like, we gotta go to the airport 4 hours before?
No, my whole body feels like I'm getting uncomfortable.
And then they're like, and we're not gonna sit in the Sky Club. I just like to go. I just want to go.
I don't believe in checking bags. I pack as little as possible because I want to just take it on the plane. No. Okay. Would love a low maintenance fling that goes nowhere.
Yeah, if you want that too, go off.
Start carrying emergency underwear and condoms in my purse.
I can't relate. I don't wear underwear. Or use condoms.
Or use condoms. Constant penetration and telling my boss to fuck off. Catch flights, both planes and alcohol, and not feelings. And then this girl said, recently divorced from my 10-year vanilla marriage, ready for a United Nations sex tour.
Okay.
Go off with that pussy.
And like the United Nations, there's a big office in New York. You should just go stand outside. See what you like. Okay. Turn my IG into Thirst Trap City. Yes, feel yourself. Enjoy a 10-day vacation. Fix up my house. Figure out what direction I want my career to go. Abs and money. I love that.
Abs and money.
Abs and money. That's the name of my mixtape. I want to peg my boyfriend. Let's go, ladies. All caps. I want to get completely railed. Also see my grandma. That's my favorite one. I want to get completely railed. Also see my grandma. Getting men to fly here and stay the weekends with me, then get the fuck out. Got 2 bookings already. Like she's an Airbnb.
I know. Like her pussy is an Airbnb.
She's like, don't forget to rate it.
That's funny. Anal and expanding on my witchcraft practices.
Oh my God.
I love these ones to take a turn. Spoil and date my fucking self. We got tons of those people that are just excited to do things for themselves. Make money, get tan, get better BJs. Take men out to dinner at Paige's pussy. Her name is Paige.
Oh my God.
It took me a second because I read just take men out for dinner at Paige's pussy. And I was like, what does that mean? And then I saw what her name was.
I love it.
Suck a dick, be an absolute savage, and fall back in love with my life.
Oh, I love it.
I love that, girls. Whether you want to be in a relationship, not be in a relationship, fuck, don't want to think about relationships at all, travel, see your friends, change your career. We're just really excited for you guys and feels like we're finally like coming out of this. 50% of the American population is vaccinated.
I know. I'll tell you one thing.
Fuck the other 50%. No.
If you are going to comment on POTUS's Instagram and you have a verified account, so it rises to the top, and you're going to write something like "Go off, King," which is what I did. You better be prepared for the comments. I don't care because I'm not going to read them. I literally don't care. I drop a comment and then I'm out. But Joe Biden on the POTUS account posted like 50% of Americans are vaccinated. I wrote "Go off, King," and people just came for me. Like, who are you people? I didn't ever follow Donald Trump. I wasn't following him. I wasn't trolling him. I don't know what he ever posted on Instagram. Where are all these anti-vaxxer Trump people trolling Joe Biden's Instagram account and trolling me?
Oh, why are you so bored? I had the same thing happen to me when I commented on Jill Biden's outfit one day because she had a matching dress with her mask. And so I just like, that looks great. So many people came for me.
So I'd like to say, hear it again, Joe Biden, go off, King. Half of us are vaccinated. We're ready for a great summer. And, you know, I realize too, I want to recognize that not everybody in the world is at our level right now. I know Canadians were still locked down, maybe still are. I'm not totally sure. I usually just follow Cat and Nat and see what's going on in Canada. But we feel for you guys. Your time is coming. Maybe it'll be kind of like a late Shot Girl Summer, early fall for you. I don't know. But I just want to recognize that because I think that while we in this country did not crush the pandemic by any stretch, we did not do a great job. And, you know, there was a ton of loss. We have done great with the vaccine. Well, for the most part. So we feel like we're getting back to normal. And I know that's not the case everywhere. So for those of you who don't have the luxuries that we have right now, your time will come and then you can cue this episode up then.
Yep. Go sign. All right.
Okay.
Well, guys, get back out there. Enjoy your summer. We will see you next week with Chelsea fucking Handler.
Oh, my God. Okay. And you guys know where to find us. girlsgottaeatpodcast.com. Girls Gotta Eat Podcast on Instagram. I am Ash Hess on Instagram. Raina is Raina.Greenberg. Girls_Gotta Eat on Twitter and youtube.com/girlsgottaeat. And we'll see you next week.
Have a great week, guys.
Bye.